On March 21st, Chad Bianco was having a fundraiser in Norco, California. There was a young gentleman there that was handing out flyers in opposition of Chad Bianco. Sheriff's deputies quickly descended upon him as he was placing flyers on the vehicles. When one of the deputies picked up the flyer and noticed that it was a flyer against Chad Bianco, all the deputies' demeanor changed into rage. They questioned him on who hired him to hand out the flyers and were being very aggressive to get an answer out of him. The person handing the flyers out simply said that he was doing his job. The deputies demanded him to leave, which he complied with. As he went to his vehicle and started to drive off, a sheriff's unit pulled out in front of him, blocking him and preventing him from leaving. The deputy quickly got out of his vehicle and approached this person in his vehicle. Mind you, no vehicle code was broken. The first thing out of this deputy's mouth was, "Who hired you to hand out flyers?" And the person simply said, "I was just hired." The deputy kept pressing with no success and then said, "You're leaving, right?" Which the person replied, "I would if you didn't block me in." As the guy was leaving, he noticed that several deputies were taking the flyers off all the cars. Within 2 minutes of him arriving home, there was a sheriff's helicopter above his home in an absolute attempt to intimidate him. The sheriff's helicopter circled his home several times. This means the deputies had to run his plate to find his address without due cause, which is a felony. Another concerning fact is that there were at least 9 police cars and several uniformed deputies in an air unit being provided, all taxpayer funded, mind you. Several people within the sheriff's department claim to have received less than 24 hours notice to prepare a mobile field force security detail. This overtime assignment was to provide security for Bianco. I find this information I'm providing to you extremely concerning, as I have several questions for the record. Why are taxpayer dollars being utilized to provide Sheriff Bianco personal security, not just for him as a sheriff, but for his candidacy run as a governor? Why are the citizens of Riverside County paying deputies to remove flyers that have an opposing viewpoint to their boss, Chad Bianco? Why is Sheriff Bianco utilizing department resources like deputies, department vehicles, and a police helicopter to intimidate innocent civilians who have an opposing viewpoint other than him? Is his campaign refunding the taxpayers of Riverside County? Why is overtime even being approved for an event like this? Is the contract city of Norco footing the bill for the security provided for this event? Perhaps more important, why is Chad Bianco's power going suspiciously unchecked by the Board of Supervisors? Bianco is clearly utilizing the Sheriff's Department as his own taxpayer-paid personal security force and citizen-intimidating goon squad. If this is how he treats a kid handing out flyers against him, imagine the insane overreach he'll feel entitled to as governor. The Democrats know they are dead in the water, so installing corrupt rhino Republicans across the state and country so they can control and keep the corrupt status quo protected and going is clearly their next plan for California. If you want a governor who won't use police helicopters to intimidate people with flyers, then please vote for my friend Leo Zaki. Chad Bianco is not the only conservative running. My friend Leo Zaki doesn't just talk about problems, he has solutions. And I promise you, he will not chase you down in a police helicopter because you have flyers.